Recording. Okay, all right.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Deborah Jackson. I'm the outreach worker in the Eastern region. And we're going to start the secretary training. So the position of secretary, each house shall have its own duly elected secretary. The secretary must be a member of the particular house and shall serve a term not to exceed 6 months. A member may not serve as secretary for 2 consecutive terms, but may be elected to secretary again 6 months after the completion of 1 term. Okay, Chris. Okay, for the secretary duties, the secretary will accurately and thoroughly record the minutes of each weekly house meeting, interviews, and emergency house meetings, and will maintain an organized secretary binder. So that's really important. The secretary, anytime your house has to sit down and have a meeting for an emergency meeting or your house meeting or interviews, you should be taking notes during the interviews. Remember, if you don't document it, it didn't happen. And you'll need to have meeting minutes for a lot of reasons. An outreach worker might need it. You just need to document the comings, what's going on in your house. The secretary will maintain a house members record binder for all current members, keeping organized files on all member applications, contracts, and other forms. So this would be a notebook, just like your other house officer has. It's separate from the secretary regular binder. You need to have a binder that has all your current members with all their paperwork in there, and all your applications, all the contracts, and any other secretary forms. The secretary will keep pending applications for new members and oversee the interview scheduling process. So I just want to add, the secretary is done correctly is a really involved job. So you need to be organized with your papers and your files and keep things in the same place and where you know where they're at. The secretary will maintain a supply of new member packets for incoming members and will be responsible for keeping an appropriate supply of all house forms. You want to have these new member packets ready when you're bringing someone into the house and not running scrambling to print those off while someone's there to move in. The secretary will complete a monthly house report for the president to present at the monthly chapter meeting. That is your monthly form that goes to the chapter, and it's up to you to make sure that the president has that before the chapter meeting. The secretary will maintain accurate house activity records and will update and post an annual house activity report. The secretary will submit a monthly house activity report by responding to the emailed link no later than the 3rd day of each month. So you have for your house, the secretary has the annual house activity report. It is a form. It is on the virginiaoxfordhouse.org site, where it is on one page, and it has the month for the whole year, where you're gonna document the comings and goings, how many interviews you had, how many you accepted, and you can find that on the website. It's like a hash mark and count sheet, so you can keep track during the month. The secretary will respond to text messages regarding vacancies from oxfordvacancies.com and will ensure house information on oxfordvacancies.com is accurate and up to date. I would suggest that the secretary when you get that contact number, save it in your phone as vacancies, because you can update that in real time. So you don't have to wait for that prompt from them to ask you how many vacancies you have. If someone leaves your house, you can immediately go to that contact, pull it up, and type in the new number of vacancies, and it will update it in real time. The secretary will check the house email account daily, communicate information to the house during the weekly business meeting or prior to it if necessary, and respond to emails as needed. That second one is really important, guys, because the secretary checks the email. So the rest of the house members, if you get an email about a date, a training, some communication from another house or outreach to your house, it can't just be your information. You need to share that. You need to, I suggest that you print that out and post it for everyone to see. And then you need to read the emails at your house meeting so that you share that information. You're the one receiving it, and it's your job to make sure that the house also gets that information. Okay. Secretary will be responsible for any correspondence to and from the house, including thank you notes. So the secretary, some houses will receive mail from jails or anything that comes in for the house is yours to open and respond to.
Even if you get a promissory, from an organization, it doesn't hurt to send a thank you note.
Right. Right. And thank you notes these days are thank you emails. Right. Just respond, let someone know that we're there and we appreciate them, The secretary will maintain a record of all house officers' start and end dates of the term and inform the house at least 1 week in advance when an election is to be held at the weekly house meeting. This is so important. We should not be guessing at when someone started their house officer position, okay? Changing house officers every 6 months, it is not negotiable. This has to happen, okay?
Keep it in front of your binder.
Keep it in your binder, yep. And you can update it as it changes. And make sure you're paying attention to it. Okay, well, this month coming up, so-and-so's term is up as treasurer. We need to elect a new treasurer. And if you can see that a week ahead, it's nice to know. Next week, we're going to be electing a new treasurer, so everybody be thinking about it, right?
Post it on your communication board, put a copy in your binder, wherever you need so you can remember to do it.
Meeting minutes, detailed minutes are important. They are very important. If it's not in the minutes, it did not happen. They're often reviewed by HSC and or outreach workers, and they can end up serving as an official legal document, particularly with expulsions. I know it's a lot of writing. Look, the secretary really sets the pace of the meeting. If you're the secretary and people are blowing on by and you're trying to write, you need to hold up your hand and say, wait a minute, guys, so you can document stuff. I document like in bullet point fashion because it's easier. Make sure the whole point gets across. I don't document the whole conversation, right? And sometimes it's important to document who said what. But you can do it in a very direct bullet point style. You can do that for your interviews too, just so that information is there and it's recorded. It matters. And you read the entire minutes from start to finish. This, yes, when you're in your house business meeting and the secretary reads her report from the previous week, you read everything from the name of the house to the time the meeting ended, every page. And record motions verbatim, record votes. Okay. So, Susie motioned to close the treasury report. Linda seconded. I use all in favor, 8-0. Okay, you want to have an exact count there. Record motions verbatim, record votes, and summarize discussions, kind of like what I was talking about the bullet point style of writing. Don't get too caught up in documenting all the side stuff going on. Just make sure what's important, you just document. Okay. Okay, this is the secretary's weekly minutes.
Has been updated.
Yes.
So a
So-
couple of things that we changed, you can see down at the bottom of the Housing Service Committee Representative Report, we put in here motion to accept Housing Service Committee Representation Report and vote count like we have with a couple of the other ones. We did that with each different officer report as well.
Nice.
And they have been uploaded to the vaoxfordhouse.org website under house forms. So you want to make sure as secretary of your house or whoever is here today, let's make sure that you go to the website and start downloading the updated reports.
We also changed this around a little bit. Before if anybody, if you remember, the payee and the amount the bills approved to be written at this meeting were below the beginning and ending balance numbers. We've switched that to the opposite side and put all the bills due within the next month underneath your treasurer report numbers. It
Much
just made more sense like that because we go left to right.
Yeah, a lot better. Good job.
And also we put back in the notes section for the comptroller report. So you have your space down here to list actions taken against, members who are behind in the ES, along with the motion to accept the comptroller report. On this one, we just did the same with the coordinator report, motion to accept and the vote count, and then new business.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Robinson. Thanks for everybody attending. All right, we're gonna discuss house email. Maintain, update house house login information sheet for all passwords, print and post multiple locations. We have a copy of it on here. We will show it to you so you understand what we're talking about. House email is always the house name at oxfordhouse.us. Always house name oxfordhouse.us. Check a minimum of once per day, as Deborah mentioned. New applications. When you do Oxford vacancies, a lot of applications are coming, in your email. So it's really important that, if you're the house secretary, you should have the house email on your phone. Makes it so much easier to keep track, especially those houses that are down on vacancies. They're able to jump on these new applications that are coming across.
Yeah, baby.
Make house aware of all email correspondence, print important emails for weekly business meeting. This is really important. There are so many secretaries that open up the email, they read it, and the edit information is never passed on to members in the houses. So you want to make sure, we send out, treasurers will send out their chapter treasurer's report. And the president has no idea how much the check is supposed to be for, or what they're supposed to bring, or what's going on the agenda. So you want to make sure that you share this information. This is not just for the house secretary. You are the house secretary. So you want to share all the information that comes across, including the applications. If you get an email welcoming a member, you should be sharing that information also. Only Oxford House Business on your computers. Yes, I know people look for jobs and things like that, and that's okay, but it's mainly for house business. Other house members can check email, but must be saved as unread. We have had problems with that. Secretaries getting upset with the fact that somebody's checking emails and then they miss it. This is something you need to talk about with your house members. So if other people in your house are checking it, they have to mark it as saved as unread, so the secretary knows that it has not been looked at. It is the secretary's job to share the information, position to share what's in the email with the houses. So here's the Oxford House login information sheet. If your house does not have this, Chris, can you make that a little bit bigger? Okay, so it says, sorry guys, we're getting old here. House computer login. There's your password for the house computer, which a lot of houses, your password is saved, which is great. That's what you want to do. You should not be changing the house password. If there's an issue getting into your house email, of course, you can always contact me and we will reset it. But we would like for you to save it and try not to change it for whatever reason. I know when people leave and they were disruptive or whatever, you want to change it, that's great. We're willing to do that. The house wireless network. This is important for when new members come in. They should be able to connect their phones to your Wi-Fi. So let's make sure that they're provided that information. House emails and Google Drive. Again, you have your house name, your username and your password. This is not a secret. Okay, share this information. That's why it should be posted. And then the websites, oxfordvacancies.com. You want to have your username and your password, your landlord information. Here's, landlord name, the address, the rent amount. We know that people have left and, we get phone calls, emails wanting to know, oh, I don't know where to mail our rent check to. So this is all information that the house should be aware of. Of course, your HP Smart info. Also username and password. So if you don't have this form posted, just let us know and we'll get it to you. And that way you can get all the information up to date.
Can
I
I,
just
can
wanna-
I add something real quick?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't think that it has to go on this sheet, but something that we find out is necessary too is for your utility bills that come in, the secretary needs to keep a log of those addresses for billing to send. If you lose the form where it, the envelope that has it printed on it, or the form that you need to send in with the bill because if you mail it to a lot of these big utilities have addresses that are not for billing, and it will take them months and months and months to get that check accounted for. So you should have mailing addresses for all your utilities somewhere in your secretary's book. So that you know what mailing address to use to send a payment to if you don't have a pre-printed on an envelope.
Yeah, y'all can put any information on here that you think is necessary, like the utility bill addresses. If you guys have like an Xfinity login account for streaming services, that can go on here. Anything that is, a house-wide thing. I also just want to mention for the members that are here from Ayla, this is not accurate information. I just used your house as an example.
Because that's what we're all thinking. Okay. Okay. And this is going to be available where? On the website?
Yes, we can put it on the website. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, updating oxfordvacancies.com. If a password is lost or forgotten, go to www.oxfordvacancies.com. So you see we have a screenshot here. Click on house login. You have to do that first. Reset then click on reset the password, enter the house phone number, not a cell phone number, and click on call me. The automated system will call the house phone number and provide a new password. Must update house login sheet with new password. So again, you want to go back to that login sheet, but this is very simple. I know I get a lot of emails to change information on this on oxfordvacancies.com. You can do this yourself. Go to the top right-hand corner, click house login, click reset password, put the house phone number in. The system will call you, give you a password, you enter the password, boom, you have access to be able to change that information.
Yeah, be ready for that too. You want to have a pen and a piece of paper and you want to be ready because the phone is going to ring and they're going to give it to you. You're going to need to be ready. You're going to need to be near the house phone because that's what they're going to call back. Be ready to record it.
Yeah, and your username is always just going to be your house name. So, like, let's say we're talking about, Trillium, it would be username Trillium or anything like that. If it's Madison Valley, 2 different words, it's Madison space Valley. It's always going to be your house name as your username.
Okay, house activity report. This is what we call the HAR. Data collected is important, helps Oxford House improve the state network and is required by Oxford House Incorporated and the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services, which is DBHDS. Google form is emailed to houses at the end of the month. So those that know me, I'm a pain in the butt when it comes to this, because it's very important. You have till the 3rd. Well, let me keep going. All right. Always do by the 3rd day of every month. Make departures and move-ins on house calendar. Departures and move-ins on house calendar. Keep a running tally on the hard copy of an annual house activity report which should be posted next to your house calendar. We're gonna show you the form. These house activity numbers are not the same information as requested on the monthly house report for your chapter. They're completely different. The monthly house report is month to month, is chapter meeting to chapter meeting. The monthly house activity report is for the previous month. So when we send out the Google Doc form, and I send it out usually on the first, if not the end of the previous month, the last day of the previous month, you have till the 3rd to get us these numbers. And it's really important that they're accurate and that they're submitted on time. So if you don't know what your ending balance was for October, those that submitted, November's, you're not going to know what your beginning number is for November. So if you end in October with 8, that means you have to start November with 8. So that's where a lot of houses are messing up and submitting incorrect numbers. So let's make sure that, I send this out. You have till the 3rd. We need to get our numbers to our regional manager, who in turn has to turn this around to DBHDS and Oxford House Incorporated by the 5th. So once I send the form out, I'll wait till the 3rd, and then I'll send it to those houses that still haven't submitted the numbers. So you're not getting it once, you're getting it twice, sometimes 3 times, asking for these numbers. I realize that I am a pain in the butt when it comes to this,
So,
but we're being held accountable, so of course it rolls downhill. All right, Chris. So here's the form. This is on the Google Drive, the blank. So you can start, the new year out right. Make it easy for yourself. It does not take that long to complete. As you see, like for January, the house is 8 beds. Number of applications received during the month. So as you're doing interviews, just put these tally marks and then total them up. I know that they're also kept on the calendar as far as interviews and all, but if you put it on this and you tally it up at the end, your numbers will be correct every time. As long as you're keeping track on this, and that should just be hung up on your communication board, put in your secretary book, binder, wherever you want to put it, as long as you have access to it immediately, come the 1st of the month. You see they ended number of members at the end of the month. There were 7. That means you have to start February with 7 members. So 7 plus, no, 1 was admitted, but nobody left, ends with 8. You've always got to know that previous month's numbers in order to get this correct. Number of applications received during the month. Those should be, whether you've interviewed them or not. Okay, it's not just a text message. I know houses are coming up with, 54 applications, 45 applications. Keep track of the ones that you're actually interviewing, not just a text message that you're getting. I know my manager asked about that, and I actually talked to a house, and that's what they were doing. Just every time they got a text message, application, they were counting those. But if they're not doing anything with them, I gotta double check with Paul if we really want to count those. Okay, so I definitely get back to you on that. I meant to ask him last night. Okay, Chris. So this form is on Google Drive. Virginia members departure form. So everyone should know by now that we've started a new procedure regarding departures. Do not send emails out to all houses anymore. We don't want to do that. It overwhelmed house email accounts. Go to vaoxfordhouse.org. Must be logged into your house email account to access the departure form. Click on Departures tab, then click on Departure Form. Complete all required information and click Submit. So on the website, right in the middle, it says Departures. Just click on it. There's a form you can complete. You must fill out all the information. If it's relapse, it's relapse. We know what relapse is. At the bottom, it asks, you know, if it's disruptive behavior, we'll show you the form. Maybe give a little brief description as to what happened. But other than that, we don't need, you
Yeah.
know, detailed information regarding people's relapse.
Some of them are getting too detailed in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't need all of that. Relapse is relapse, no matter however you want to look at it, it's relapse. But disruptive behavior, let's give a little brief description as to what happened. So here's the form. Of course, you're gonna put your house address, email address, your house name, your house name, member's departure date. You want to make sure that's the date they were expelled. The party member's first name, their last name, reason for departure. If you click on that, it's relapse voluntarily or disruptive behavior. Those are the three. Amount owed to the house. And if the member was expelled for disruptive behavior, then provide a brief explanation. If it was for relapse, you don't need to put that. We know it because you've already, the reason for departure, you've already clicked on that. So this is just if it's just for disruptive behavior. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like. So you can go to Oxford, you can go to vaoxfordhouse.org, must be logged into house email to view, click the departures tab, and then click see members balances. In order to update amount owed, you must submit a new departure form to update amount owed. Now, we started this in November. This is what you would be seeing if you went to the website and clicked on member balances. Just make sure that if, like it says here, Michael Phelps left owing $150 for non-payment of EES. All right. If he pays that, the house needs to go back on here and put today's date, the person's his name, reason for departure, and then you put 0 amount owed. And then, you know, when it says disruptive behavior, you're able down there in the description, just kind of put paid in full. But if you go to search this page, this spreadsheet, it's going to pull up Michael Phelps twice. So you'll be able to see that he owed this and he paid that. So then, you know, you'd be good to go as far as that individual not owing money. And please be careful when you're putting your departure dates. Let's use the correct date, not the date you posted. Okay, so if they, and you should be able, we sent out the QR code. We meant to put that on here and we did not, but I emailed it a QR code that you can put right above your computer, walk up with your camera and take a picture of it, click on it. You're able to immediately update the departures immediately. Don't wait. Please do it immediately. We have had people leave one part of the state and roll into another before the house has even posted the information. So let's make sure you do that immediately. Monthly house report. Information reported on this form is from chapter meeting to chapter meeting, as we mentioned earlier. Secretary is required to complete the monthly house report for the president to present at the chapter meeting. This must be completed 1 hour before the chapter meeting. So let's make sure when you're sitting in your chapter meeting and it says how many members owe EES, that it's accurate. Okay, the number of vacancies that you have, that it's accurate as of that day. That's important. And we also look, you know, outreach workers should be looking on the vacancy website to make sure the information is up to date. Deborah mentioned about putting it on your phone, the vacancies, so you're able to immediately update that information in real time. Financial obligations should include rent, revolving loan, and chapter loan, chapter dues and fines, and past due utilities. The monthly house report must be completed in its entirety. That's important, guys. We changed the form. We'll show you here. what we've changed. We've taken out the email account, so you don't have to do that. Where are you going, Chris? Okay,
Trying to zoom in, but
I'll wait for you. Go ahead. Can you do it?
it's not letting me for some reason.
Okay. All right, so
Nope.
of course, let's fill out everything at the top, please, guys. This report goes to your Housing Service Committee chairperson in order to help them assess what needs to be done. What houses need help? Tells them what's going on in your house. So it's important this information is accurate, it's the truth. Okay? So you're gonna list all your house officers, their phone numbers. This is important to have their phone number, not the house phone number. We already have the house phone numbers. It has it at the top. This is individual cell phone numbers. This is important because of a housing service having to reach your housing service rep or president of the house. This will help them. The date they were elected and whether they owe EES or not. It says total ES. We changed the form. It says total ES owed and then total balances. I can't read that because I don't remember. I'm sorry now.
Yeah, it's
Total
total EES owed.
total members owing EES.
Correct.
All right, can we can you try to make it larger so we can see we can see the bottom?
Let me see here. Nope. It worked so good the first time, but now it's not.
Okay. So we changed some of the questions at the bottom. I should have a hard copy and I don't. Okay, so current members, number of members, sorry. Current number of vacancies. Again, this is chapter meeting. We put date completed at the top. So that's the date you fill out the form. We know this is month to month, as it says at the top. Monthly house rent. Our house rent pays $1,800. Amount of past due land, past due, for current months. Shit. Let's say it's $1,500. Let's say you only paid, $500, whatever. You want to make sure that you indicate the difference. So there is a difference between what your monthly rent is and what has actually been paid for the current month.
Right.
I know this is a little hard to read, guys, and sorry we can't make it larger.
So another thing we changed is the total financial obligations. Before it just used to say, if not, list how much is owed and to whom. Now in parentheses, it says include revolving loan, any chapter debts, rent, and utilities, because almost every time I hear one of these reports get read, it never includes a house's revolving loan amount. That is a total outstanding financial obligation, so it needs to go on here, just like a loan to the chapter. Any money your house owes goes in that section.
I know I've sat in chapter and the house wasn't sure, so I told them what the balance, what they owe for the revolving loan. So if you don't know, ask your outreach worker. That way you can have it correct moving forward. The deductions, of course, are $170 a month, which you should know from your bank statements.
Yeah, don't call every month asking what that is. Once we give you a balance of what it is, it's up to you to subtract that $170 every month and keep your running total correct. You need to know exactly how much money you owe to chapter for your revolving loan, all that stuff, right? And every time you make a payment, you simply deduct it and change your balance. That has to be done.
Yep.
And for the treasurer also, the treasurer would also be keeping track of that. Money, money owed by the house.
Okay, we didn't change anything on the second page, so that's those that have seen it, it's still the same. But you want to list the members that were expelled, the ones that voluntarily left, and for disruptive behavior. Again, please be accurate with the information. This helps your Housing Service Committee chairperson.
I think it's 24, back to me.
Yep.
Okay. House files. Okay. Remember, we create new member packets, maintain and update House members' record binder on all current members. And maintain means, someone changes their medication, they need to go in there and update that, that medical sheet in their packet. You need to be updating your, property sheets, keep your current members in a separate notebook. So that you could have easy access to update those things. And maintain an overall organization of the House binders and files. This is a lot of secretary because we do things, we use a lot of paper. This can become really overwhelming if you don't stay organized. A lot of people just go in, they open the cabinet door and they just throw it in there, right? This causes just chaos. You need to take the time to keep these files and books organized. It will make your job 100% easier if you do. And keep a record of the House officers and the expiration of terms. Remember, we talked about that.
I have a question. As far as that's concerned, I'm brand new to the secretary position as of Monday. Can we get your help as far as, because I know it needs to be organized according to the new way we're doing it now, because I think some things are old based on just my, I guess, over the top chat, trying to get trained. And I haven't really been trained on this position yet. So who do I call on for that? Would it be yourself or someone else?
So call your housing service chair, is who I would call, to get some experienced people over there to help you.
Call who now? Call who?
I would call your housing service committee chairperson who should know how these things operate. And so you can get some experienced reps over there to help you guys organize this. It's going to be probably a big purge and a lot of organization. You need to be willing to sit down, take the time and do it.
Right,
And-
so a
and
lot
then-
of houses have
Yeah.
files. I know here in Northern
Yeah.
Virginia, a lot of houses have files. So we want them to switch from the files into a binder. So the best
Okay.
thing to do is take what you have, go ahead and pull out all the old information, members' information. Okay, put it in a file cabinet or in a box, however you want to do it. And then get all of the new member packet, make sure you have every paperwork, every form filled out for your members that are current in the house. And start putting them in a binder. Just put them in one binder. And I was the other day when we were talking about this, I believe will also help with those members that think that when they leave the house, they can walk over to the file cabinet, grab their folder and leave. This is going to make it a little bit more difficult. If it's all in one binder for them to have to go through everything to pull it out. Hopefully
right.
somebody will catch them. But we have had members take their folder and leave the house.
Yeah.
So, and all the other positions are in binders, as Paul indicated. So just get you a big binder and start putting the information in and just do it by members' names.
And
go
binder
ahead,
are current members, guys. They're
Current
current
members,
members. They're not
right,
on your
current
old files.
current members.
Okay. All right. New member forms and literature. I think I lost my place where we're at. Is this me also?
Yes.
Forms and literature. Okay, this is a listing of what we're separating as forms and literature. Okay, this is your new member packet. Okay, new member forms. These are actual forms that you sit down and your new member and yourself have to fill out. Okay. I hope everybody's using these. A lot of houses have gone to the weekly meeting sheet verification that is really working well instead of the one big long sheet. So then there's the content of what goes in your new member packet. Okay. On the right side, and you need to, so you have the left side here. So your forms are separated from the literature packet, right? So if you can see them all listed, all these things are available. Have we made the big
No.
PDF for this? Okay.
No, we're still working on that.
Okay. This is gonna, guys, this is a big packet, right? But this is something we're gonna make sure we get done here so they can have the manual and a copy of the house rules, the chapter bylaws. People need to have this information and we really need to make sure that people are actually reading this, right? I mean, it's kind of, just throw them a packet and say, here you go. And I know it's a lot of printing, but it's worth it. And then when someone says, well, no one told me that, well, yeah, we did. Here it is. A lot of people are willing to read these things if you just tell them that they need to get these things read. And like there's a lot of things in here, like 10 insights for the new member. These things are really helpful. You can read some of these in your house meeting, the golden rules, the 10 insights. There are probably a lot of people in houses who've never even seen these, but they can be really helpful for new members and for seasoned members too, who could always use a little refreshing sometimes. So this is it's a big packet, but that's why they need to be done ahead of time and prepared. Ink is part of your house supplies. So, and it's something you need to keep track of. I would buy ink before I buy coffee. For sure. House officer terms. Okay. This is my first time seeing this. I'm just looking at it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so this is essentially like everybody kind of does it differently. This is what Paul kind of created to keep officer terms at Oxford House Carver. Obviously, these aren't real names because every single one of them is related. But it's more or less about keeping this form accurate. Like you want to have the president's name, the date elected, the date it ends. That way, people are doing their 6 months terms. They're never running over, or it's a year later and we've just realized we haven't elected a new secretary or whatever it may be. Which I'm sure this form can be sent out if people want to use it as a template as well.
You can also do it by position. I've seen it done that way too, because not all officer positions change at the same time, right? So you could have one, a sheet, it doesn't have to be a full sheet, like 2 on a sheet for president, right? You list the person's name and the day they started, right? And then when their term ends, you can just put a line through them and start the next person. So you can go to any position and see the last time someone was elected and when they were elected to that position. But I like this too.
Okay,
At the end of it.
so, can we go to some of the questions, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Debbie, there was a question from Summit right at the beginning. If he's still on,
Yeah, doesn't matter what's his question.
not quite sure. I'm hoping he'll ask it himself.
That's been answered.
Yeah.
That was Moreland. Summit, are you still on here?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here. Oh,
What's
so
your
that
question?
question I had, my bad. I'm sorry. I was thinking. So, you said, using the house number type stuff. I'm not saying, it's the right thing to do, but it's what me and our chairperson have done is we usually technically use our personal phone number for just to call for callbacks and stuff, because with, I'm mostly at work more than I am at home. And, usually I'll give a call back because I missed the phone calls and I'll be like, hey, can you call me back on my regular number? Is that like an okay and I guess, smart thing to do that I can just use my personal number for callbacks and interviews type stuff, or,
Yeah, yes, you can
Okay.
do that.
I just
It's
wanted to make sure.
also, yeah,
Should be
your
on vacancy side anyway.
yeah, on the vacancies website, we have the house phone number. Okay, if you haven't seen the website, please go to Oxford House Vacancies. Go oxfordvacancies.com. Please go to the website, look at it so you see what's on there. But it does have your house and your house phone number, your first name and your cell phone number. And it is required to be the secretary, it's your secretary's position, not the president or Joe Blow that's been in the house for 20 years. Okay, we want it to be the secretary. And then, because when we talk to resources, I know when I talk to, detox centers and treatment centers, and it's like, hey, call Joe at this number. This is his cell phone. That way they're able to reach somebody, because we know people sit in houses and don't get up and answer the phone. So we want to make sure that they are able, but yes, use your personal cell phone, but just make sure you're sharing the information with the house.
Hey, Debbie, all the forms you just mentioned, we can get them from Oxford House vacancies?
Yeah, no, VA oxfordhouse.org. Go to
Nope.
our website under house
Okay.
forms.
All right, and I'll
And
get some
this
copies.
video and this training will be uploaded
All right.
following the meeting.
I have a question on the house email.
I'm sorry.
He muted her. So if we can do this kind of slowly, can people know, if you know how to raise your hands to ask a question, try to raise your hand in the screen and we will try to call on you.
Okay, well, Star City, go ahead. You have to unmute.
So, recently we're not getting applicants to our email. We are having to ask them to send it to our personal email, and we're not getting voicemails on our phone.
Okay, so Jordan, can you look into that, please? Let's find out what's going on. And
Yes,
we'll,
I can
we'll check the
definitely look into
website.
it. Yeah,
We'll
if you wanna get in touch with me after this, we'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will
Oxford.
also, Star City, hang on just a minute, please.
Yep.
Star City, we will also check with Oxford vacancies and find out why, but they should that should be automatic,
Okay,
okay? So I'll look into that after this
Okay.
meeting.
thank you.
Oxford House Moreland was next. He had his hand raised.
Yeah, thank you. I just was with these new secretary reports, it's like the comptroller's reports and the treasurer's reports are maintained in separate books. I'm just questioning why the reasoning behind having that in the secretary's notes as well. Because it's like the secretary now has like all the positions. It's like I gotta sit here and record all that information over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense?
You're talking about the meeting minutes? Yes, you fill out the meeting minutes in its entirety. It takes 2 minutes. So
Correct, but
so the comptroller is supposed to have their reports done.
right.
Let me finish, please. An hour before the House meeting. So that the secretary is able to sit down and write that information on the meeting minute forms. That is correct.
But I just don't understand, if we have comptroller reports, then why does that have to go into the meeting minutes?
Can I
The
say
secretary's-
something?
So everybody
Uh,
have the same number.
The whole
Can I-
point of
can I
it
say- Okay,
is a
Alright,
triple
hang on,
check
too many.
system. It's
Okay.
supposed to be redundant so that we make sure that we do
Sure.
everything we
Everything
can,
right
to
thing.
make sure
Yep.
that it is all correct.
It's
It's all
checks and
correct.
balances. It's
Yep.
checks and balances.
I'm just gonna mute.
Okay, Andrew S, chapter 4 was next.
How are you guys taking attendance for this?
So the House names,
Okay, cool. Do we have to stay for the whole Q&A, or if we're good on everything, can we leave?
I would say it's
Yeah.
probably best to stay for the questions, so that, you know, you might learn something. I wouldn't say
I
that.
feel like I
if
learned a whole bunch.
It's a good idea.
All right,
Andrew, that is your choice. Okay,
Okay, Oxford House Birdie asked in the chat if we're still sending welcome emails to the all email address.
no, there's no, if you want to send them to in your region, your area, that's fine, your chapter. But no, you do not need to send it to everybody. All houses, no.
Okay, so, and then there was a comment in here. There are a few contents of the new member packet I cannot find on the website. Is there another resource to find this material? Some of that's you're pulling out of the president
Be
packet, right?
specific, wait, hang on, be specific as to what you can't find. If you can't find something, send me an email, but be very specific as to what you can't find.
I just send you an email.
Right now, it's going to be we're going to put it in one packet, the literature. But your new member forms should be on there. There was a mistake on it last night, which he was working on getting it up to date.
Yeah, I can get all the forms that need to be filled out, but just some of those insights and stuff.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Just some of the insights I can't get, but all of the forms I can get. But it is.
So, like the reading literature, if you go to the president's training packet, it's all in there as well.
It will be uploaded. Like I said, we're working on getting the literature part all together in one packet.
Okay, Oxford House, Ayla was next.
I was just wondering about the organization chart, like because Ayla was struggling a little bit financially. But since I haven't, got my money order today, would I be able to like buy a filing cabinet to help better like with the secretary stuff so we can file away stuff and put new members files away? Because I have filing folders, I just don't have anywhere to put them and it gets really like overwhelming. So would I
Okay.
be able to do that today?
So what you want to do is you want to buy the binder for
Okay.
all okay, for the packets. Okay, and then if you want to put your utilities and things in file cabinet, I mean, that's fine, but yes, so your comptroller, just so you know, is responsible for the house supplies. And they should be buying house supplies and bringing the receipt. Once you got it approved, this is what we're gonna send. You bring the receipt, they deduct that from their money order that they would be paying the house. If the comptroller doesn't have the money and the house has agreed for you to go buy it, I voted for you to go buy it, then yes, you can do that.
All right, thank you.
All right, Oxford House, Serenity Park.
This Serenity Path. My question is, would you like to start the 6-month rotation of all the members today for the
No.
position?
No. If you have a president has been a president for 3 months, they need to serve their 6 months.
Right. I
It's
mean,
not
because
like-
I'm not sure when everybody started their position.
Okay, so you'll need to, in your house meeting, you want
Yes.
to sit down and you all need to figure that out so you can
All right.
create your spreadsheet. Yep, figure it out.
All right, thank you.
I know that earlier in the chat, Oxford House, Brooklyn Park asked about the video, if it's going to be posted. So the video is going to be posted on the website, Debbie?
Correct. Under training along with the other ones.
I got a question. So you put the HSC motion in your meeting minutes now. Are we going to update the agenda where that the president follows that says, hey, motion to close HSC?
Yes.
That was a really good question, by the way.
Which I responded to in the chat.
I know you did.
It's Will, Chris,
Hey, Deborah, if you can just post your number in there. Like I said, I'm Brandon. I just had a few more questions. I know that I don't want to bug you so much, but I just need to make sure that I'm thorough. I'm a very organized person, but if I don't know, I don't know. I just make sure that we're in compliance here, what we're doing, and we can relay this information there. Because I work remote, so I'm pretty much computer-based all day long. So if you don't mind, you can call me on my cell. I don't mind. We can talk at some point. Whatever day you have available, I can talk to you.
Okay, Paul's got his hand up. Go ahead,
Go,
Paul.
Paul.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Paul.
Sorry I couldn't really participate today. I've been driving. I got to go up to an event for the DC Maryland Regional Association. Debbie, I thought I heard you say something during the House activity report about checking with me on something. What was that? Was that about counting applications received?
Yes, how we want to, applications received. Remember, some people are putting 45, whatever.
Yeah.
And what they were doing was counting the text messages, and that's not what we
Right.
want.
No, I think we need to just count an application received if we've actually contacted that person, ideally contacted and scheduled an interview. They need to be like a real applicant for that specific house, not just, one of those emails or texts that got sent out to like all of Richmond or all of Winchester or something
Right.
like that.
Okay, so everybody
if you
understands that.
actually schedule an interview or like, or you're in the process of kind of calling back and forth and trying to get an interview put together, then you would count them as an application receipt.
Okay, so everybody understands if you're communicating with the applicant, then yes, that's when you count, not the text messages that you're getting. Because we have notes, like I said earlier, you know, you didn't receive, you might have gotten 43 text messages, but you didn't actually contact 43 people. So that's what he's talking about.
Mhm.
That was the question or the question I had earlier. Thanks, Paul.
Tiffany from Princess Anne, Chapter 11 Chair.
Hey there, can you guys hear me? Oh, no. Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
So I just wanted to offer my
assistance
assistance to the gentleman who is new to the position.
Tiffany, there you go.
I could be another resource for you. Am I double?
Yeah, you are.
I muted one of her.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I just wanted to offer assistance to the gentleman who said he was fairly new. I kind of revamped our secretary binder, all our stuff here. So I understand where you are in the process. So I'll also offer myself as a resource.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany. I appreciate it. It's Marshall from Brooklyn Park. If you can just chat me down your song, and then that way we'll go from there. How's that?
It looks like Moreland has had his actual hand raised for a little bit now.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, actually, this is actually it's more of a suggestion versus a question. Because actually I find this kind of very helpful and all that kind of stuff in terms of information. Is there a way we could maybe set up like the Saturday morning Oxford meeting or whatever, so that like anybody can come into a chat or one of these Zooms and just like ask general questions, get directions, exchange information, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if this is the correct forum or the place to ask that, but it seems that we have a lot of people here, and by the way, whatever Fairchester Woods guy is eating, man, I want some of that too. You know, it seems it would be helpful to get kind of people all on the same page if we can get kind of everybody in on a Zoom meeting. The more the merrier type of thing.
Okay.
So when people have questions, they can ask and get the experience from all the other members. I mean, we are the inmates running the asylum, so the more information, the better.
Okay, so Dave, we're starting, I mean, I realize you're new to your house and your house is just turned over. So your HSCC is going to be training you on what needs to be done. We do this training every other month on a house officer's position or whatever it is we choose to do. And we do the Virginia State Association meeting, which will be the second Saturday in January.
Right.
We have the state meeting in January. February, we'll do a training. March, we have the state meeting. So you're more than welcome to join any of those meetings.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to start with Housing Service Committee, staying up in your house to get everybody trained as to what needs to be done.
Okay, well, yeah, that okay, I hear you. When's that gonna start?
It's actually already started. That's why they were in your house the other night.
Well,
Okay.
never mind, it's a separate issue and
Okay, let's move.
discuss it separately.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Deborah.
Hi, everybody. Just while everybody's jumping off, I just want to say I really appreciate everybody being here and the secretaries. I know that this is a secretary is a big job. I consider the secretary the heart of the house. You know what I mean? I should be able, if I need to know something in a house, that's probably going to be, you know, every position is important, but the secretary really keeps things organized and moving along. So I commend anybody who's taken this position. And it is a lot. And remember that it's only your position for 6 months, right? So learn it, do the best you can so you can teach somebody else. I know it seems like a lot, but you're not going to do it for the rest of your life. You're not even going to do it for the rest of the year, right? So just approach it as an important job as it is. It's critical to the operation of your house. Learn it, execute it the best you can do. If you need help, reach out so that you can teach the next person how to do it.
And
Okay,
there are
I commend all the secretaries.
there are training videos on the vaoxfordhouse.org website. So if you have, you know, a treasurer or a comptroller, somebody that hasn't watched it, they need to watch the training videos. If you watch that, then a lot of your problems will go away, including the secretary. But you have to take the time, all officers have to take the time to attend the video. And the other thing is to watch the video. The other thing is we do these trainings and then people in the house that's holding that position doesn't show up, it's somebody else. That doesn't help your house. That doesn't help your house because what are the chances of that person sitting there telling the treasurer, oh, you're supposed to do this? Okay, so if we're doing these trainings, it's, you know, people are, is it mandatory? Is it mandatory? You know what? Making it mandatory is up to your house. If you want a strong Oxford House, vote to make it mandatory that everybody attend. It's all in what you do for your house. Is how your house is going to end up, whether it's strong or not. We can only provide the information. John McCormick.
Hello. I just wanted to say, just sort of like a little bit of a pep talk is you'll get out of the Oxford House experience what you put in it. So it's kind of like with recovery, as far as when I first started in an Oxford House and I had an officer position, I wasn't like very good at it because I didn't have like the skill set. But by being in Oxford House, and specifically today we're secretary, so my experience as a secretary was by doing it, and at first not doing it well, but as time went on and I got really good at it, those life skills have translated into other things. It's made me a better communicator at work. It's made me, it's just helped me in so many ways, both personally and professionally. So the Oxford House experience has really been an enhancement. It's been an educational tool, but it's also been part of my recovery in that by fully participating in the Oxford House program, just like participating in, for me, it's Alcoholics Anonymous, I get the benefits from it. So even if it looks like maybe somebody else is not doing the same thing that I'm doing, it doesn't matter what that other person is doing. I'm going to reap the benefits of doing this. And so I just sort of wanted to put that out there, you know, to everyone, that this isn't like a sucker game or slave labor or something. Like, this is actually going to assist in changing your life and helping you become a better person. So thank you.
So guys, just keep in mind, the stronger your Oxford House is, first of all, the longer it'll be around and the more people we can help. Because it's not just about you being in the house today, it's about those that are coming behind you. We've got to have this Oxford House here for those that are coming in behind you after you leave and go live your wonderful life. So it's important that what you learn while living here, that you do make it a strong house and you do share that information. So those people that come behind you can reap the same benefits that you are today. So the stronger you make your house, the better it's going to be, the longer it'll be around. And that's really important. That's really important that we keep these houses. We're losing houses left and right now. And it's even harder to find houses where they don't want your firstborn for the first month's rent.
Right.
So, you know, it's really important you make your house as strong as you can be. And the secretary does have a lot of positions, and it is very important. All the positions are very important. All of them are. Any other questions?
I learned a lot. Thank you so much. We're going to be in compliance here at Brooklyn Park.
Thank you. We really appreciate everybody attending. Give us some time. We'll get the video up. Meantime, there's already videos on there that you're able to watch. We're working with Dash, our webmaster, to make sure everything gets up, all the new forms and the literature and things gets uploaded to the website. So if you get off this and you expect the video to be on there, it's not gonna happen. You need to give us a day or two to get it taken care of with Dash, and we will go from there. So if you have any questions, please reach out to outreach workers. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm in your email because I'm the pain in the butt when it comes to the HAR. Emails
You're the best.
from me. So if you need help, please just ask. We're here to help. Okay, your Housing Service Committee chairpersons, they are here to help. They know how to do it. So they can help you. But keep in mind that your Housing Service Committee, yes, it's, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
you have the
not
chairperson and then you have this committee underneath, their committee underneath of them, but there are chapters. We have a lot of houses, so we can't be in every house every night. Are there any other questions?
Nope. So I just want to say that, you know, we do these trainings every other month, but there's also our convention coming up, which is a lot of training. Go to the convention.
In June, May, June.
And use the new departures tab on the website. No more emailing. Let's all get good on that, right?
Yeah.
I'll check we need to be practicing that.
And keep in mind also on the departures, even though we have the spreadsheet up there, so you're able just to go look, you still want to reach out to the house. Okay, that doesn't eliminate you reaching out, finding out what kind of house member or whatever. If you have questions, make sure you reach out to the house if need be.
Yeah.
We just wanted to try to make it as easy as possible for you to find people that owed money. Okay, I think that's it. Everybody, we appreciate you attending. Thank you very much.
Very much.